Welcome to Frank Teaches Devils. Okay, so in this episode, I we shall be discussing Route 53. Route 53. I in this episode we shall discuss Route 53. Okay, great. So now, what is Route 53? Sorry, escape. What is Route 53? Route 53 is AWS service for both domain registration and to register domain and to set up DNS records. Okay, and let me write a bit. So what is Route 53? With it is an AWS, right, domain management service. Yes, it is AWS domain management service. That's what I should call it. Okay, domain management service. All right. So let's see what Route 53 can do. Okay, with Route 53, with Route 53, I I can I can buy a domain on AWS. Yes, with Route 53, all right, I can host a website. I can host a website. Good. With Route 53, uh-huh, I can I can right take in requests. I can route requests. I can route my requests. Okay, to my website website post server. Okay, so I think these are great things a Route 53 could do, and many more. So that implies that with Route 53, okay, I can do both domain registration, all right, I can do domain registration, and I can also do DNS records creation. DNS records creation. Okay, so with Route 53, I can also transfer my domain records from a third party. Okay, let's do this. With Route 53, I can transfer my DNS records from a third party domain provider. Yeah, into okay. I can transfer my DNS records from a third party domain provider and be managed by Route 53. Route 53. Okay. I can transfer my DNS records from, let's say, GoDaddy, Google Hosts. Uh, I could transfer from GoDaddy, da Go da GoDaddy, uh, Google Hosts, etc. and etc. Okay. Now this now brings us to DNS records. All right. So when we say DNS records, um, I can route DNS. records. I can route, let's say I have a domain name, let's say API.frank uh-huh, teaches, teaches what DevOps.com. Let me copy that. .com. I can route that copy to an IP address to an IP address, okay, of an API server, okay, to my API server. Great, great, great. Okay, with my DNS record, I can also I can also route my static website, maybe a website I hosted using a S3. Okay, let's say static dot dot this. Okay, with my DNS record to my HTTP. Okay, to the IP address of my HTTP server. Okay, I can do a lot. All right, I can also route my email server. I can route my email, let's say um, dev at this, dev at this. So my mail exchange server, so my email server, all right, mail server. All right, so this is the kind of DNS records I can create. Okay, great. Then this now brings us also to what we call hosted zones. So hosted zones is is like a container, all right? It's like a container where you define your DNS records. So we're going to see all of that in AWS briefly, okay? And hosted zones is like a container for your DNS records, okay? So that is what hosted don't does. All right. So that's where you create your DNS records. Okay. Great. Then let's see what you can create on hosted zone. You can create an A record. You can create sorry. You can create an A record. So what A record does is it maps a name a name to an IP. So IPv4, not just an IP. So IPv4. Okay. Then purple A record. This maps a name to IPv6. Okay. Then we have the other uh, DNS record called CNAME. CNAME it maps a name to name. It maps a name to another name. All right. Another what? Another name. Then we now have MX records. All right. This maps a name to a mail server. Okay. All right. So these are the kind of records that can get created uh, in the hosted zones. All right. Great. So I think that's all. Then and the last but not the least is routing policies. All right. So we're going to describe some good routing policies. We have routing policies, and then I'm going to list them. The first routing policy is just we call it simple. Simple in the sense that it routes a name to multiple IPs. Okay, it routes it routes name to multiple IP addresses. Addresses. Okay, so in this routing policy, you can actually, okay, route uh, a domain name, a simple name to multiple IP addresses. Okay, so we have another policy by name latency. We have latency. Latency is such that I I have I have four regions. All right, let's say I have four regions. Let's say I have UK South, I have US East, and I have um EU West. Okay. Then I now have, let's say, South Africa South. Assuming we have assuming we actually have South Africa South. Let's see. Okay. All right. Now, in terms of latency, all right. Now, latency states that if I am in South Africa, okay, I will get a quicker response. If I'm in South Africa, I'll get a quicker response. So, meaning, let's do this. S is South. Okay. If I'm in South Africa, I will get quicker, a quicker response. Okay, a quicker response because of latency. So latency, there's no delay. There's no delay in fetching the DNS records, okay, the DNS details. All right, there's no delay in what would I say, in fetching me my content, what I want. All right. So there's no delay, latency. But if I were to be in South Africa and I'm accessing a resource, a domain in UK South, there's going to be a delay. All right. So this kind of that kind of policy that we set, that that AWS sets on Route 53, that if you're in South Africa, you should get what you needed, what is being served in South Africa region. So if you are in UK South, you get what you're being served in UK region. All right. So that's in terms of latency. Then the other one is sorry, weighted. Weighted is just based on some percentage, some metrics. You can say 10 percentage for UK South, for UK South. I can now say 20%, as the case may be. All right, weighted. They will now have another most important one, which is geolocation. Right. So this is based on geopolitical region, geopolitical region, or geolocation region. All right. So if I am in South UK South, I will be served the content in UK South. If I am in US East, I will be served the content in US East. Let's say, assuming, sorry for this. Assuming, assuming for UK South, I have my domain as UK South dot frankteachesdevops.com. For US East, I have my domain as US East dot frankteachesdevops.com. For EU EU West, I have it as EU West dot frankteachesdevops.com. So meaning that if I am in UK South, I'm going to get the UK URL. Okay, let's put it down here. Okay, okay, let's put it over here. Meaning that, okay, if I am in UK South, I will I will be served the UK South domain name. You see how beautiful that is. I will be served the UK South domain name, and I will get domain name, and I will get content native or local to UK South. The same thing is applicable to East and the rest of this. Let's say this as well. I come down here. So this is the meaning. Meaning that if I'm in US East, I'll be served the US East domain name, and I will get content native or local to US East, US East, and so on and so forth. So my focus is to implement geolocation policy. All right. So this is it. This is it. This is it. So if you have any doubts, please kindly go through the video one more time. And that's it. I think we should be ready now for our demo. We should be ready for the demo. Okay. Because of time, I'm going to make this part two. All right. So in my next video, in the part two of this, I'm going to show us the demo of all of these illustration. Thank you, and have a nice day.